About a year ago, I posted a video where I reviewed 25 Christmas movies in under 25 minutes. And before everyone in the comments asks where I've been for the last year, as there was only one video posted in between that span, this video you're currently watching is for a school assignment. Your boy's been busy, and I'll be back when I'm not busy. Anyways, in that Christmas video, I briefly talked about this one movie, Tokyo Godfathers, a 2003 holiday anime film written and directed by the talented Satoshi Kon. In my review, I gave a quick spoiler-free rundown of the premise and why it was one of my favorite and a criminally underrated Christmas movie. And I still believe both those things today. So, while looking for a subject to use for my project, with the holiday seasons approaching, I felt it best to bring awareness to one of the best Christmas films out there, and explain why this film could be considered speculative fiction, as well as the importance of Hana for transgender representation. For a majority of this video, I will be analyzing the 2003 subbed version of the film, since it retains most of the meaning Satoshi Kon had in mind, but I will occasionally reference the 2020 dubbed version produced by G-Kids, as the dub provides interesting dialogue changes that impacts a certain aspect of the movie. Now, before I get into any analysis of Tokyo Godfathers, I'll give a quick rundown of what the film is actually about. Tokyo Godfathers is a Japanese modern retelling of The Three Wise Men. In it, we follow three homeless people: Jin, an alcoholic gambler, Ryuki, a runaway teenager, and Hana, a former drag queen. While struggling to survive, the trio find an abandoned baby in the midst of garbage and set off on a journey filled with miracles and unlikely circumstances as they try to find the family the baby belongs to. Now, for those that don't know what speculative fiction is, it's a bit of a complicated topic. The genre is so widespread and heavily associated with science fiction, yet there are many different exceptions to that. However, to make it simple, the definition of spec fic that I'll be using is a genre of fiction that encompasses works in which the setting is other than the real world, involving supernatural, futuristic, or other imagined events. With that in mind, at first glance, and with the description of the movie I gave, it doesn't sound like Tokyo Godfather seems to fit under that genre. If you're familiar with Satoshi Kon's work, a majority of his films tend to blend the boundaries of fiction and reality. From Perfect Blue to Millennium Actress, these psychological thrillers are filled to the brim with themes of mixing these two states of existence. With Tokyo Godfathers, on the other hand, though the story is a lot more grounded, the film contains plenty of unlikely and improbable events, or as Kon refers to as meaningful coincidences. These events occur so frequently that the span of luck can be deemed as impossible. From the trio finding a baby supply kit at the graveyard, to the group narrowly escaping being hit by a crashing ambulance, to Hana being saved by the grace of God's wind, Tokyo Godfathers is a constant back-to-back ride of miracles and meaningful coincidences that are written in a sense that makes the logic of it all feel natural. But when thinking about it, it can never actually happen with reality in mind. Thus is my argument as to why I believe Tokyo Godfathers can briefly land under the umbrella of speculative fiction. I'm going to start this section off by stating that I made a tiny oopsie in my Tokyo Godfathers review last year. Well, it's an oopsie, but not an oopsie. See, when I first watched Tokyo Godfathers, I watched it dubbed. Oh, shut up. It's still good. My tastes are different than your tastes. Anyways, this time around, and before I started writing the script, I decided to give the subbed version a try, and oh boy, it's night and day in terms of content. Most noticeable difference was in each of the film's treatment of the flamboyant character, Hana. In the original 2003 subbed version, Hana is referred to as a formal drag queen, and is occasionally called an F-slur by Jin. Respectfully, of course. However, in the 2020 remastered dubbed version, Hana is now referred to as transgender, and the usage of the F-slur is nowhere to be seen. Of course, this omission of the certain word is to be respectful of the current times. However, the change from drag queen to transgender is a very intriguing change. Plenty of Hana's characters, such as her want to be a mother, her love towards Jin, and her personality in general was salvaged and written almost identically to the original, and none of it was lost in that transgender switch. And that's so important. To emphasize this importance, we're going to have to do a little history. Back in 2003, transgender rights were first recognized in Japan when a law was passed granting transgender people the right to change legal gender. As good as this sounds, it does come with its own caveat. For this to occur, the individual must be over 22 years of age, unmarried, is currently undergoing or has had surgery for sex reassignment, is sterilized, and has no children under the age of 20. What a list. This law was then put into effect in July of 2004, where it is still in effect even to today. With Tokyo Godfathers originally releasing in 2003, it's definitely a coincidence that the film coincided the passing of transgender recognition in Japan, as the film was in production prior to that, being written back in 2001. However, one can argue that Kon knew what he was doing, especially when writing the characterization of Hana. On the surface level, Hana is very outspoken, emotionally driven, and determined. Her spontaneous behavior is what leads the group on the journey we watch, and it's even what saves the day in the climax of the film. However, because of how she is portrayed and acted, some may say that she is stereotyped. Stereotyped as the queer character who is overly emotional, cries a lot, and is a huge drama queen. And some of that may be true, as some of the writing choices in this early era of LGBTQ+ in Japan is slightly homophobic, but this is also just a part of Hana's character. Hana is overly emotional because she cares about Jin, Miyuki, and Kyoko. She's the mother of the group that can't biologically be a mother, so she takes what she can get, especially when it comes to finding a baby on a whim. She cries a lot because of how much she cares. She's a drama queen because she is confident in herself and proud to be who she is, not taking no shit from nobody. And all these traits make even more sense when we learn her history of being abandoned as a child and being raised by her foster mother who is also a drag queen. Hana's main drive of taking care of Kyoko and finding the baby's parents spark from her own mother not being there for her and abandoning her. Thus, she doesn't want Kyoko to experience the same pain. And all of this was maintained in both the subbed and dubbed versions. Hana's characters and personalities weren't affected at all in the switch from drag queen to transgender. In fact, the only real changes made were lines that were deemed homophobic, such as the usage of the F slur and a neat gesture in having a transgender woman voice act for Hana rather than a male. With nothing being changed about who Hana is as a person, I'd like to recall two lines that were rewritten for more appeal but still have the same meaning and show that Satoshi-kon may have had in mind the importance of Hana's transgenderism.
'Come, you know that. That's a shame food can't fill an empty head.
I got more knocking around in my head than a homo with no balls.
No, sweetie, God gave me a pair of those by mistake. Oh, but I know in my heart I'm more woman than anyone.
Though written very differently with very different tones, it's the small details that show how much care and empathy that was put into the work behind Hana's character by Con G Kids, the studio that produced the dub. And so I circle back to my little apology at the beginning of this segment. In my original review video, I had said that Hana is transgender because I watched the dub first. So after watching the subbed variant now, I no longer think I made a mistake in that statement, and that Hana is transgender representation. Not only that, but Hana is great transgender representation. One of the major themes Satoshi-kon uses in Tokyo Godfathers is the theme of family, specifically found families. Being a holiday movie, family is a recurring theme that's seen in many Christmas classics, yet the presence of found families is more niche. In Tokyo Godfathers, the found family of Jin, Hana, Miyuki, and to an extent Kyoko is born due to the fact that they were all outcast by their families in some way. And as dysfunctional and chaotic as they look, they still are loving and feel very natural as if they actually were a biological family. As Satoshi-kon said in an interview, the word homeless literally means that there is no home. But in this work, it means not only a person who has lost his home, but also a person who has lost his family. And this is something that can be seen in the LGBTQ community. Not everyone shares the same views, and with that comes a portion of queer-identifying individuals facing rejection from their families. This leads to a good percentage, about 20 to 40%, of homeless youth being LGBTQ, and it increases the importance of found families to fulfill the mental and provisional gaps left behind in a youth's life. Tokyo Godfathers displays a positive view of this, with Miyuki seeing Jin and Hana more as her family than her original family, and Hana being a part of two found families, seen in Miyuki and Jin, and her foster mother in the drag bar. During the holiday season, though gift-giving, snow, Santa, and all that jazz are poster children for Christmas, what really matters during this time is being with those you care about, whether it's family or friends and individuals that you can call family. And that's something that Tokyo Godfathers just gets right. Merry Christmas, everyone, and have a happy holiday season. Hey, it's been a while. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. As I mentioned earlier, this video was for a class project, so if it seemed a bit off from my other videos, that's why. On that note, I've been so busy with college, so that's why I haven't been really posting. I know I promised a video over summer, and that's my bad. But yeah, college on the way. I'm currently on winter break right now, so that's why you have this video coming out right now, and hopefully another one coming soon. No promises on that one though. One of those videos coming soon will hopefully be an update on what this channel will be like in the future, so stay tuned for that. And a brief TLDR before that video comes out, I'm not going anywhere, just expect less videos from me. Thank you guys so much for the fan art, it always warms my heart, and if you guys have any more, be sure to send them to my social medias. On that note, follow me on my social medias, mainly on Twitter. I have an Instagram, but I don't really post on there, so Twitter's your best bet to keep up with all your Crabbage lore. That's all I have for now, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!